If you've been scrolling through endless drone kits, watching YouTubers rave about the perfect build and still feeling stuck on which one actually makes sense for the work you need to do, you're not alone. The market is flooded with half-assembled frames, motor bundles that promise professional power, and FPV packages that look slick but leave you guessing about how they'll hold up when you start pulling payloads or flying in windy conditions. That uncertainty is the real cost. You could end up spending a few $100s on a frame that bends the first time you try a sidewind maneuver, or you might buy a motor set that can't deliver the thrust you need for a surveying job. The F550 industrial drone full kit from ECDWK tries to solve that dilemma by bundling a carbon fiber frame, 3508 motors, 48 ESCs, and a simple FPV system into one package that's supposed to be both lightweight and durable. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What makes the F550 different from the countless DIY drone kits you'll see on forums is the promise of a fully integrated setup that you can get off the box and into the air with minimal fuss. That's a big deal if you're the type of builder who wants to spend more time testing flight paths than wrestling with loose screws. The frame is milled from carbon fiber, which in theory gives you a high strength-to-weight ratio, while the 3508 motors are a step up from the usual 2204 or 2212 units you see on hobby-grade quadcopter kits. The 48 ESCs are sized to handle the motor draw without constantly tripping, and the included M9 and FPV transmitter means you can get a live video feed without hunting for a separate video system. Let's break down what that actually looks like in a real-world scenario. Imagine you're a small-scale farmer who wants to do weekly canopy scans of a 10-acre field. You need a drone that can lift a modest payload, a multispectral camera that weighs about 200 grams, and you need it to stay steady in breezy afternoons. The carbon frame keeps the overall weight down, so you're not fighting gravity every second. The 3508 motors, each paired with a 48 ESC, give you enough thrust to lift the extra camera and still have a safety margin for wind gusts. Because the kit is sold as a full kit, the wiring harnesses are pre-matched, which cuts down on the time you'd otherwise spend figuring out which motor leads go where. In practice, you can assemble the frame, bolt the motors, plug in the ESCs, and be ready for a test flight in under an hour if you have basic soldering tools. Now, who should actually consider buying this kit? First, hobbyists who are comfortable with a bit of soldering and basic flight controller configuration will get the most out of it. If you already own a flight controller like a Pixhawk or a Beta flight board, you can drop the F550 frame and motors into your existing setup and start fine-tuning. The kit also makes sense for small commercial users, think surveyors, real estate agents, or agricultural consultants who need a reliable platform that won't require constant part replacements. The repair and replacement kit that comes with the F550 is a nice safety net. If you crack a prop shaft or a motor mount, you have spare parts on hand instead of scrambling for a new component. On the flip side, this isn't the right choice for absolute beginners who have never soldered a wire or calibrated a flight controller. The easy installation claim holds true if you already know the basics of drone assembly, otherwise you'll still have a learning curve. Also, if you're looking for a quadcopter with 4 motors for maximum redundancy, the F550's 3-motor configuration might feel limiting. In a professional setting where a single motor failure could mean losing an expensive payload, many operators prefer a quad or hex layout for that extra safety margin. Let's talk about the practical strengths that actually matter after you've taken the kit out of the box. The carbon frame is genuinely light. The whole build weighs roughly 1.2 kilograms without a camera or battery, yet it doesn't feel flimsy when you give it a few hard landings. The durability claim isn't just marketing fluff. Carbon fiber can absorb impacts without cracking, and the frame's modular design means you can swap out a damaged arm without rebuilding the entire drone. The repair kit includes extra motor mounts, prop adapters, and spare screws, which saves you from hunting down obscure parts on a later date. The ESCs are sized appropriately for the 3508 motors, so you won't see the frequent power cut alarms that some cheaper kits suffer from when you push the throttle hard. And the simple M9 and FPV transmitter pairs nicely with most entry-level goggles, giving you a clear live feed that's essential for tasks like pinpointing a problem spot on a roof or following a moving subject. There are a few weaknesses worth flagging before you click Add to Cart. First, the kit does not include a flight controller you have to supply.